Have you ever noticed that sometimes in the Quran the letter Meem sounds very clear and sometimes it sounds stronger and sometimes it sounds like it has a nasal sound? This is not random. It happens because of the Tajweed rule known as Meem Saakin. If we understand this rule properly, our recitation become more accurate, smoother and clear. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to our Tajweed learning series where we learn the rules of Quranic recitation in a simple and practical way. In our previous lecture, we studied Noon Saakin and Tanween. Today, we are moving towards lecture 5 where we will learn another important rule of Tajweed which is known as Meem Saakin. So, let's move to our laptop screen. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي رب زدني علما رب زدني علما رب زدني علما اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. Today we are moving towards our fifth lecture of Tajweed, which is about Meem Saakin. This rule plays an essential role in the correct recitation of Quran. Before starting our lesson, we have to understand the basic and the definition of Meem Saakin. A Meem Saakin that has no vowel and carries a Sakoon is known as Meem Saakin. Vowel means Fatha, Kasra or Dama. In our previous lecture, we learned about Noon Saakin, which depends on the throat and tongue. But today we will learn Meem Saakin, which depends entirely on the lips. And remember that if the lips are too tight or too open, the sounds become wrong. So correct lips give a correct meme. When a meme has Sakoon on it and another letters comes after it, different Tajweed rules apply according to the next letter. There are three rules of Meem Saakin. The first one is Izhaar Shafawi. Izhaar Shafawi. It means to pronounce and to show it clearly. Understand? What is the definition of Izhaar Shafawi? In Izhaar Shafawi, we pronounce the meme clearly and quickly from the lips without any extra nasal sound. This happens when all letters except ba and meme comes. With these given examples, inshallah, we will learn the implementation of Izhaar Shafawi. I can repeat the definition of Izhaar Shafawi that in Izhaar Shafawi, we pronounce the meme clearly and quickly from the lips without any extra nasal sound. This happens when all letters except ba and meme come. In the first example of Izhaar Shafawi is lam. Here you can see This meme has a sukoon on it, and we are pronouncing it like lam. This meme is clear before the letter lam. You can feel that when you pronounce this word, the full meme and clear sound of meme will produce. How? Lam, lam. With this letter which have a sukoon on it, which is known as Meem Saakin, we can pronounce this word lam with the clear voice of meme. For your better learning, you can make a practice with me when I am teaching you. Okay. Now comes to the second example. Lakum dinukum. Lakum. When the calf make the connection with this meme which has a sukoon on it, this sound is pronounced and the meme will be pronounced in a clear way. How? Lakum dinukum. Lakum. Lakum. The meme is clear before the letter dal. Understand? Now come to the third example of Izhaar Shafawi, which is tamshuna, tamshuna. Here you can see this meme has a sukoon on it, so that's why we pronounce this meme with their clear voice and like tamshuna. The meme is clear before the letter sheen. And in the last example, hum naimun, hum naimun. Here this meme have a sukoon on it and we pronounce it with a clear voice of meme. How? Hum naimun. The meme is clear before the letter noon. Understand? Izhaar Shafawi means to pronounce the meme clearly and quickly from the lips without any extra nasal sound. Understand? Except these letters ba and meme comes. The first example is lam, lam. The second one is lakum dinukum, lakum. The third one tamshuna, tamshuna. The last hum naimun, hum naimun. When we pronounce all these letters, our lips will make a connection with each other and our lips will get closer, and this meme which is known as Meem Saakin will pronounce. I am sure that you understand this first rule of Meem Saakin, which is known as Izhaar Shafawi. Now comes to the second example and the second rule of Meem Saakin, which is Idghaam Shafawi. Idghaam Shafawi means merging, to merge meme into other letters. When a Meem Saakin is followed by another meme, they merge into one double meme with a nasal sound, and we call this as a gunna. In this, when idgham shafawi occur, the sound will goes into your nose and you can feel during your recitation the sound is going into your nose. Now comes to the first example, lakum. Here two memes becoming one and giving a nasal sound which is known as gunna. Okay, this meme and this meme is merging into one another and giving a gunna sound, and this calf is making the connection with this meme. So how can we pronounce this letter and this word? Lakum, lakum. Feel the sound. If the sound is going into your nose, it means you are pronouncing this word correctly, and here the rule which is known as Idghaam Shafawi is occurring. Okay, now comes to the second example of Idghaam Shafawi, which is amman, amman. Here this meme and this meme is merging into one another and making a gunna sound. This letter and this word can be pronounced like man, man. The sound is held at the lips. You can feel that man. The sound is holding on our lips. Okay. Now move to our third example of Idghaam Shafawi, which is alayhim, alayhim. Here this meme is merging into this meme and giving a nasal sound. So how can we pronounce this word? Alayhim sadah, alayhim, alayhim. Okay, here you can see that the ha is making the connection with this meme which has the vowel which is known as mushaddad, and by merging this meme into this we can pronounce this word like alayhim, alayhim. Understand? Now comes to the fourth example, which is fi qulubihim, fi qulubihim. Here you can see this meme is merging into another meme, and this ha, letter ha, making the connection with this meme by merging this meme into next one. And how can we pronounce this? Fi qulubihim, fi qulubihim. Okay, I'm sure that you can understand all these four examples which is about Idghaam Shafawi. So inshallah you will learn more accurate and more easily when we move towards our Quranic lesson and when we start our Nurani Qaida, and inshallah at that time you will remember all these rules, and by remembering all these rules in your mind you will be able to recite the Quran and recite the words of Qaida in a correct way. Now move to the third rule of Meem Saakin, which is about Ikhfaa Shafawi. What ikhfa means? Ikhfa means to hide. When a Meem Saakin is followed by the letter ba, I repeat, when a Meem Saakin is followed by the letter ba, we hide the meme with a light nasal sound. I'm sure that you understand the definition. By understanding this definition, you will be able to learn these four examples of the rule Ikhfaa Shafawi, which is the part of Meem Saakin. Okay, in Ikhfaa Shafawi we hide the sound, but when the letter ba comes. Okay, now let's start and make a practice with our first example, which is tarmihim, tarmihim. This ha is making the connection with this meme, and the meme is hidden because the ba comes after this meme, and we already listen and we already know in this definition that when the Meem Saakin is followed by the letter ba, we hide the meme with a light nasal sound. Understand? We can make a practice with this word, which is tarmihim, tarmihim bihijarah, tarmihim bihijarah. Revise this word again and again with me so you will be able to pronounce this word correctly. Tarmihim bihijarah. You can feel that the sound is going into your nose, but this sound is lighter than that of the previous one which we learned in the Idghaam Shafawi. Okay, now move to the second example, which is bi zahiri, bi zahiri, here this letter meme which has sakun on it, giving a nasal vibration at the lips. How? am bizahiri, am bizahiri. During your recitation and during the practicing of these lectures, you have to feel all these sounds and all the accents of your mouth, so it will be very easy for you, and inshallah in a short time you will learn all these rules in a correct way, and you will be able to implement on the Quranic recitation, and inshallah in a short time you will be able, and you will get professional in all these examples, and at that time you will implement and make your recitation beautiful. So read and listen carefully all these rules. Now comes to the third example of Ikhfaa Shafawi, which is fahkum, fahkum. Here this kaf is making the connection with this meem. Fahkum bainahum. Here you can see that the letter ba comes after the Meem Saakin. Here when the ba comes after the Meem Saakin, we hide the sound of Meem in our nose. Understand? Fahkum bainahum. Fahkum. Feel the sound. Fahkum. Fahkum. Now move to the fourth example, which is wama hum bimu'minin. Here you can see this ha is making the connection with this meem which have a sakun on it. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Here we hide this sound of meem because the ba comes after the meem sakin. We have not to press our lips too hard. We have only simply combine our lips and pronounce this letter. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. وَمَا هُمْ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. Understand? This is the third part of Meem Saakin, and we will revise a little again to clear your queries. So let's revise our lesson about Meem Saakin. So we know very well that a Meem Saakin means the meem that has no vowel on it, fatha, kasra and dama, and carries a sakun on it. It is known as Meem Saakin. Okay, and in Meem Saakin we use our lips, so all these rules will pronounce correctly. So basically there are three rules of Meem Saakin: Izhaar Shafawi, Idghaam Shafawi and Ikhfaa Shafawi. Here is the summary of today's lecture. Ikhfaa Shafawi, meem is pronounced clearly in this rule. Idghaam Shafawi, meem merge with another meem, and Ikhfaa Shafawi, meem is hidden with the nasal sound before the letter ba. So understanding these rules will make your Quranic recitation smoother and correct. And I am sure that you understand all these rules in an easy and correct way. So when you make the practice of these rules, remember that the sounds of the meem comes from the lips. So when we pronounce the meem, close the lips gently. Do not press the lips too hard. Do not leave the lips open, because correct lips produce correct meem sound. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, with the help of Allah Almighty and with the blessing of Allah, we have completed our 5 lectures of Tajweed learning series. And today we have learned about very essential rule of Tajweed, which is known as Meem Saakin. With the help of these rules, you will be able to recite the Quran in a correct and beautiful way. So at AlphaLegacy, we provide online and in-person classes for your learning. So if you want to learn the Quran, enroll now to start your Quran learning journey. Inshallah, we will meet in our next lecture of Tajweed. في أمان الله. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.